how about we hear it from Sheep?
But I'm lagging too. All right. Last time I do believe we went up against the tyrant again. After deciding that, he's really doing some bad things and we would like him to stop. And asking him politely apparently didn't work. So we went up there again and went like, yo, tyrant, we wanted you to stop, please. And then we attacked him because we are such people. And apparently his two pet protein tentacle ooze things also disagreed with us being there, as they eventually came out of the black goop stuff, temporarily stopping their whatever they were doing down there to join in on the fight. And well, eventually, after multiple mages disjunction and a lot of cursing from Tina, we managed to, first of all, disable the tyrant, temporarily of course, and also take care of both his pets. Afterwards, well, Cairen and Tina decided to just leave because, screw the tablets and screw everything that was happening. We are going out and partying instead. And the other three of the party have decided to go down and retrieve the tablets. The tablets that were supposedly behind everything and super important that nobody read them or something. And I do believe they were destroyed in the end.
We couldn't move them, so...
Oh, you couldn't move them. So they're still there, basically.
No, because we couldn't move them, we had to destroy them. It was our only option.
Oh, you destroyed them. All right.
Because we couldn't leave them there generating goop, could we?
I mean, I don't think it was the tablets doing it, but who knows? At least they're gone now. And I think that was that.
Well, when we destroyed the tablets, the goop went away, so...
Oh yeah, alright.
Alright. So it has been a little month. You've each gone to do your own thing, and it's time again for the council to reconvene to discuss what should be done in the upcoming month. Surely there's many different ideas, and the fervor is great.
Let's hear from DDS, Tina, and Jake, who's been discussing this all week.
Yeah. So do you want to talk before the council meeting, or do you want to go right in? No opinions anywhere?
I got nothing.
Alright then, I guess we'll just put you right in there. You can take your seats.
I have buffs to put back on. I all got exploded.
Yes. The council convenes. You're not gonna sit down, Marcus? Alright, sure. It's up to you.
I'm still loading the map.
Alright.
I'll drag him. Just throw him over there.
Oh,
To you, Cedric,
has Cairen betrayed us?
Mallory, Elisif sitting here. Okay.
Has Cairen betrayed us? I'm kind of wanting an answer here.
We'll find out.
There certainly isn't any Cairen here.
Fuck you, sheep.
Wait. Hold
Come on,
judgment
just
until we know
wait.
what happened.
I don't see how it could be anything else.
Just wait.
I know where his basement is.
I mean, like, if you don't show up for a session, we don't assume you betrayed us.
Well, sheep is here.
Yeah, maybe he's got a surprise or something. We don't know.
I know. Let's just wait.
So please continue, Monica.
Yes, the council convenes. Sort of the state of the kingdom is read up as always. It is also said that that only in only like a month the great cathedral project will be done.
Sadly, we lost who was going to sit originally upon its bishop position.
Berthol looks to her and says, "I would see it only right that you took up that seat. I've inspected it. It seems to be a throne worthy of a king. And if we do not rule this kingdom in duality, then I do not know how."
I will do my best to help you rule, my liege. Smile.
Sure. Yeah, no one really seems to have much of an note on that front, other than Desitar giving a sort of a satisfied smile with the progress that's been made. He also remarked that some of the children are beginning to actually not resist too much when they have to say their prayers, and that he's really set up a nice prison-style system where the good can punish the less good, and that has really helped on their obedience. Cedric will mention that it seems that quite a large amount of resistance members have been caught recently. The amount of bounty hunters has certainly grown, and a lot of people have been brought in, small-time members, not a whole lot of worthwhile things, but he has some leads that he will try to follow up on if nobody has any interjections. Using some of Lady Cash's resources, he believes he could rid most of Matherin, or really any other region, from the rebels. He will note that Matherin already doesn't have too many, and he would personally suggest Gastenhall as his target.
Zacharias will nod.
Yeah. You have my blessing.
Sure. Well, then he will try to focus his efforts of removing resistance in Gastenhall. Berthol will then bring up the note of what the decision was to be done with Gastenhall as such.
Zacharias will look through his papers. He seems to have a lot of them. Sigh slightly and say, Gastenhall is not within our control in a way that we would like it to be. I see we have two options. Either we usurp the Duke of Gastenhall and place a puppet in his stead. This is complex. It would take a decent amount of effort and time and resources to do, and it is risky. If we succeed, I imagine the rewards will be great, however. The more easy route is to bind Gastenhall to us and to the rule in a more political way, proclaiming that the Duke of Gastenhall be the heir to the throne would solve that particular problem. He would be forced to ally with us. He would be forced to send his forces to defend his realm, because at that point it would be his realm. He would also be forced to take a more active hand in routing out the Mithrans of Gastenhall. That has so far eluded him completely.
Mrs. Nigel is a clever choice, if I may say so, my lord. Truly a thought I had not considered myself. He bows his head. Berthol looks down. Such a thing, however, would demand a rather public announcement.
Indeed. I am sure we could announce it at the... well, we have so many festivities, don't we? Cathedrals and whatnot. When will be a fitting time to do it? At the cathedral? After? Before?
As I suppose at the opening. It is already a show of power, and with this setting of the good cardinal on the official religious throne, as it will be, we can also position the dear Duke as my heir. I'm sure the Barcan nobility will very much enjoy having one of their own inherit the kingdom once I'm gone. If that were ever to happen.
Hell forbid it ever happens, my liege. But it also solves problems with the lineage. Since your female companion met an untimely end, this also solves the problem with succession, if it comes to it.
Because we hardly need another war for the throne.
We still have one coming, I think.
Do you want a second?
Zachariah shrugs. It takes time away from other things to fight wars. Zachariah looks down the table at the others. Any other opinions on making the Duke of Gastenhall the heir to the kingdom?
Mallory shrugs. It seems, my lord, that it would be the cheapest option for certain. Disrupting trade in Gaston Hall if some accident were to occur would be terrible.
Well, there could be potential problems much further down the line. I believe those are fair enough to work with for the immediate gains we'll get from this.
It is not. If problems were to arise in 30, 40 years, when Berethor was to perhaps ascend to a different state, then, my lords, I think we could handle at that point. Of course, our promise and offer would be binding, but who is to say that the Duke will live as long as Berethor here? And who is to say he would make a terrible king?
Zacharias nods. My thoughts exactly.
He has been deft at avoiding us, that's so much as certain. His defiance certainly is not something we appreciate. However, if we were in his stead, my lords, could we not see us doing the same thing?
In my opinion, the most clever way to eliminate political opposition is to assimilate it. We build him a cage of gold, as it were. We greet him as an equal on this council, and we give him all the lavish treatment we can. In the face of such generosity, he can only bow before us.
It's an offer he won't dare refuse. Not in fear, but for personal greed.
Zacharias looks around and says, very well, Dessiter, I believe we can entrust you to draw up the necessary documents.
Of course, my lords. I will ask, naturally, for the king's signature. Berethor just nods. But with that, it should not be much of a problem. Do you want... perhaps the king would be the one to make the announcement? To make it seem most legitimate.
Zacharias nods. Yes.
It would be the correct way of doing it.
I do believe we have sent some envoys to Gastenhall. Not heard from them yet, but I do believe that the Duke could not refuse such an offer. We can invite him here, or we need to go and visit him. It would be, of course, beneficial if he was present at the inauguration ceremony of the cathedral. Perhaps we can coax him out with this.
Just a nod. I can go and take a look, or send my dear sister to speak to our ambassadors and see what's holding them up. If I'm not mistaken, they might simply be stuck in the bureaucracy of Gastenhall, which can take a long time if the Duke wishes for it to do so.
Zacharias nods. Yes, see to it, Dessiter, but be cordial. We don't want to frighten the dear Duke.
As always, my lords.
Good.
Mallory looks at you and says, now, my lords, on a different matter. I must say you have done quite greatly in reducing the amount of money we spend on wages. The army is bones and skin right now, my lords, and it is doing wonders for the treasury.
Yes, we need to shore up the armies. We need more troops.
But, my lords, we can always hire troops when we need them, I'm sure. Who can threaten us now? The North is our allies or under our control. The resistance is being broken. Gaston soon will join us, and, well, I suppose, my lords, we can't be too sure about this. If my lords will permit, there's the question of the natives. They've never been much for trade, my lords, and even if they have been passive for the remainder of this time, we've not heard much from the forest.
Sadly, our ambassador to the forest is currently not at this council table. Zacharias looks at the empty chair.
Yes, Callistus sort of nods up and says, "Oh, yes, of course. I forgot to give you this." And he pushes a letter onto the table, shrugging. He seems very bored at this meeting.
Zacharias mage hands it over.
Sure.
Takes a look.
It is written in a rough hand, and seems to have a seal marked by a dragon's claw in wax.
Oh, Zacharias will open the letter and take a look.
Sure. Inside it says, "Dear long-term companions, no need to worry about my absence. I'll be occupied for a while, a couple of months, perhaps. Continue your politics and whatnot. P.S. The gems in this box used to belong to the nameless tyrant. Illicif might be interested. P.P.S. Don't go after Antheria without me." The letter is unsigned. Callistus pushes a little box with a sort of iron band almost welded around it. Clearly it has not been opened.
Right. Zacharias takes a look at the box.
It appears to be a wooden box with an iron band wrapped around it.
Right. Zacharias looks at Illicif.
Did he read the letter aloud?
Yes.
Oh, well, she looks sort of to her eyes and so says, "Yes, I believe these were presented before me."
And why would you need these?
I would not. However, my people are ceremoniously buried in below the great halls of winter, and it seems that if you have no need for them, I would take them back. As far as Lord Cairen was to explain, these are gems containing the souls of some of my soldiers.
Understood. Zacharias taps the box with his hand a little bit, thinking. He says, "I might want to take a short look at it first, if it is all right with you."
Just smash them, if you will. I would rather have them with me myself, however.
He nods. I'll work as fast as possible. He
Frowned slightly.
He's looking down at the papers. Well, Cairen is out of town then. I have an inkling to what he's doing.
Just to ensure that these are what he says. One moment. Osiris creates a small flame in his hands. What uses gaze of flames? Are there actually gemstones in the box?
Yes.
How many?
I believe there are 7.
One of my sources says that he's been spending a lot of time in his basement underneath the dragon's claw thingy he has.
So, did Zacharias accept, does he accept ownership of the gems willingly?
I don't want him to.
Right now, he's not taking ownership over them. He
Sure,
just
sure.
want to study them.
Just has them for now.
Yeah.
It hasn't taken them out yet. Sure.
It's locked.
Yes, there are 7 gemstones in there. I don't know how many there originally were, but
Not because I don't trust you, Zacharias, because I don't. I think you should give them to Elizabeth because they used to be the tyrants. I saw Cairen take them, and I don't think you should have them, basically.
Shrugs. I still want to do some research on them. They interest me.
Yeah. Well, anything that has been the nameless tyrant is obviously something that could do something weird to you, and I don't want that.
Or if they asked him,
or Queen Elizabeth, for that matter. Might be a good idea, to be sure.
I doubt it.
Looks and says, I will be able to handle myself with gemstones.
Cass gestures to Queen Elizabeth that she is capable of it.
Lux, if you wish to say look at them, I have no issue. Don't take too long, however. The souls degrade over time.
Certainly.
Well, anyway, Cairen has a basement underneath his... Whatever, what is it called?
Is he a bar?
Or underneath his
The
bar,
golden dragon or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Dragon's
He has a basement underneath that his weird friend works. So maybe he's down there.
Shrugs. There's very interesting, my lords. But if we could come back to the issue at hand, you said you wanted to graze Telegraph with more armies, perhaps. These could, if I may suggest, be recruited from outside the realm. In a similar fashion as last time.
I don't suppose there is another Eisenmark out there. His troops have become invaluable. Something of similar caliber would be greatly appreciated.
Very frowns slightly and says, I can see what I can do, my lords, but that might take longer than, well, the immediate future. I would also have to abandon the project of ridding Gaston Hall of resistance.
Zacharias frowns.
Can only be at one place at once.
Certainly. We need to shore up the armies. We lost much in the north and in the taking of the kingdom. We haven't seen nor hair nor scale of the princess and the blasted dragon, and I don't want them to strike us when we are as weak as we currently are.
So, well, I can only be one place.
Focus on restoring the armies for now. If we get the good Duke of Gaston Hall on our side, he will hopefully start hunting the resistance for us. Once you return, you can join in that hunt in Gaston Hall.
It looks to the rest of you. See if you agree with the opinion.
This seems like a fair plan for now.
I would then, on the morrow, travel on a ship towards the mainland, where I will, to the best of my abilities, begin to gather mercenaries and such. The success of the previous bunch might have raised our chances.
Are you skilled enough to use magical implements, Cedric?
Some, I would say.
I can furnish you, if with the proper expenses paid, I could furnish you with some trinkets to perhaps ease your journey.
Logan says, whatever wealth I have come from you, my lords. I have no real source of income myself.
Whatever the salary for the council is, what is it, like 100 gold a week or something? I don't know.
Yeah, enough to live in an alright fashion. Mostly the salaries come from whatever you can embezzle or whatnot.
Sure. Yeah, I could throw him like 2 scrolls of teleportation if someone pays for it. That would allow him to get to the mainland with a small party of his henchmen and get back fairly quickly if needed.
Ignoring however long. How long is it to sail to the mainland?
Now that you don't have to take care of dragons and whatnot, certain storms, about a month or so.
Just
3 weeks, perhaps.
take the money from the treasury.
What level's teleport? It would be 5?
5, yes.
Yeah, so it'd be 2,500 gold.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2,250 gold.
That's fine. I am all for taking that out of the treasury. It's like peanuts. It won't even...
We'll make it 3,000.
Well, it's something that is needed of the council, so I see it as fair.
It is less than 1/100th of what you have in the treasure.
Yeah, I think this is fine.
Sure.
It greatly
Done.
speeds
Alright,
it greatly speeds up his time.
he gets 2 scrolls of teleportation. It is powerful to bring him and a pretty big party because it's Zacharias who's grabbing these scrolls, so it's at his caster level, so he can bring a lot of people with him for these casts.
How many people does he want to have becomes the question.
He'll take some of Cassius. He's comfortable with them. They seem to be the right kind of cutthroats that are still more loyal than most others, if she wouldn't mind.
For him, no.
Sure.
There's the other like 750 gold that it got spent. That's like redundant expenses.
By the way, where did Callistus get that message from?
He says he picked it up from one of the servants who knew he was on the council, and since, well, he was around and easier to find than anyone else, it seems that he was the one to receive it. Mallory will speak up and say, "My lords, I know we've spoken on this on different occasions, but since the kingdom needs armies and since the prisons are so bountiful, perhaps we could, if we were to start using or training these prisoners in ways of war, we could perhaps break them, my lords, teach them not only to fight in the arena, but also to serve in our armies, my lords. Think on it. What desperate man would not want to serve us in exchange for a promise of freedom if he lived?"
The guy snorts. The rate of deserters from such units would be quite large, I believe. And where would they go? They would go straight to the resistance. No. The cretins stay in prison.
See unfortunately, as Zacharias says, it would be too risky to use, especially as a primary force.
I wouldn't even use them as supply lines.
Yes, you say, my lords. They are. Of course, we could pick the ones who are not good men, my lords. The ones who are not from the Resistance. Thieves, murderers, those sorts of people. The Resistance might not want them, my lords. Where else would they go?
We could certainly consider offering something of a bargain. Be in prison for the rest of your life or serve in the army.
Yes, my lords, and until the army is needed, they could train in the arena.
If they join the army, they join the army, Mallory. We have talked about the slavery, and the time is not yet. I don't think the people are ready for full-blown slavery at the moment.
Though it's interesting you note yet, Zacharias.
Zacharias shrugs. Give it a few decades. Or at least until we have firmly and thoroughly crushed the resistance. The less we usher the people into their arms, the better.
Mallory lets a sad gold piece slip through his fingers, falling to the floor, clinking.
May hand anyone?
He can bend over the fatso and pick it up himself. Yes, I agree with what Andrew says. You can just give the prisoners to Zacharias. He will take care of it.
My allied lords, kingship, I will say that you did admirably in aiding my people, and you can expect our full military support if you were to need it.
That makes me very happy.
You have proven that you're willing to go the distance for us, and so I will send my giants south if a threat to your sovereignty were to present itself.
Speaking of threats, I have spent this last month in constant strife and struggle up north, trying to contend the wave of creatures we unleashed when we banished the tyrant. It has been quite costly. I would appreciate if the council, in its great wisdom, would see to furnish me with some recompense, perhaps.
What resources did you lose?
What was that?
What resources did you lose?
I have lost resources, approximately 50,000 gold pieces that I have gained or acquired from selling off my own assets.
Can you-
Borrowing from us.
No, that money blew up.
In quite a tremendous explosion, I heard.
Yes, the storm is still raging on the academy grounds, I believe.
We still didn't get the money from you, did we?
I don't have any money, Lady Cash.
No, but you talked about
All
taking...
I've had has gone north to try to contend the wave of undeath.
Well, that
Nonsense, it is quite the large amount. We have felt their presence too, even as we are. They seem to be drawn towards the Agathium. We have done some skirmishes, but they appear to also be spreading out, making the land dangerous, instead of forming an army at this point. Perhaps they're waiting for something. It would certainly seem so, finding ancient positions and whatnot.
My belief is that they are waiting the tyrant's return. Then once again they will flock to him.
It's interesting he's not back already. How long does it take a demi-lich to reform?
Depends on the lich.
As it looks at this, he could be back already, but not want us to know.
I suppose having an army of undeath all centering on one point would give him away a little bit.
Besides, many of the more powerful ones can move freely through earth and rock. They are likely convening someplace underground. For all we know, they could instantly appear in any city in the south or north, simply by moving up from the earth.
They could.
I believe their fighting this threat is of the highest importance. And I have certainly set my own people to do so. I, however, do not rule your kingdom, only my own. Desert frowns at all this.
Sakurai sighs. And says,
Rahal looks up.
If given resources, I can continue battling this. But I am running out as it is.
Rahal looks up. I believe we should also perhaps spend some time, unless I hear other suggestions, we could begin recruiting for militias in the realms.
Yes.
Forming perhaps weak but standing armies of our kingdom again. Train them so we can raise them at some point.
I agree.
We have many burned fields. Why should farmers stay idle when they can wield a spear?
We can always use it for the people of even if their farm lives are ruined, we're still giving them work to help feed their family.
The treasury certainly is booming. We could spend some of all that money and some time from the kingdom to construct further forces. Mallory sobs slightly.
I agree to both of this, and I personally also agree to Zacharias' recompensation. Looks around.
Sakurai nods.
Of course you would. You're getting paid.
It's either that to have like these wraiths running around killing everyone.
And to be honest, especially since they said like some of them were dangerously close to the Agathium, that kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like, what if I'm in prayer and suddenly one walks into my bathroom?
And raising a militia that is willing and loyal enough to be trusted to fight for you will cost 10,000 gold pieces per month.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you wish to recruit them. And they will approximately have 1,000 people per month.
is that them standing, like being ready, or is it
That is them beginning to train and getting ready to be used.
how long?
They
do we
would
need
probably
to,
be like sent to the north and such.
How long do we need to pay
It's a
for?
month by month thing. Pay for
Okay.
them once. 10,000 and a month. You got 1,000 people with like spears, leather jerkins.
Right, but we can lower them, so to speak, to send them back to their fields, and then when we need them, we can raise them again. Right?
Yeah, it's a one-time pay. It's training and equipment and like organization. Yeah, there's no like standing army. It is very much like you can it's levies, right?
Right.
It's people who are too young, too old, wounded. They can still fight if given like a chance.
All right, sure. With the cathedral coming off the paycheck, we can afford some levies, I guess.
Again, it's an action. Takes 1 month. Takes 10,000 gold. So.
All right, that's I'm fine with all of this.
All right, you're ready to end the month. To move the month forward, I suppose I should say.
Mm-hmm. So then we remove 10,000 for the levies, and 50 for Zacharias' anti-wraith campaign.
Anti-wraith campaigns. Why do I not like that idea?
Well, I mean, we can leave them, but it's kind of risky.
What did you say?
We remove 60,000 in total to pay for training of militia and to combat the wraiths
From who?
from the treasury.
Oh, okay. You just said levies.
Levies are a thing.
Yes.
Well, I thought you meant that we paid for it.
No. Levies are like militia people.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
Then you will. I mean, you still earn money this month, because you earn more than 10,000. So.
Yes.
Yes, then 73. You're in.
So I am interested in Clockwork Dragons.
Yeah, I'll also move that 50,000 down.
Is that a kingdom thing or is it an academy thing?
The dragons are a kingdom thing.
Okay. How long do we would Clockwork Dragons take to build?
I believe it would. Let me check for you. Yes, they are quite the magnificent unit. Power. Certainly enough to do important things.
Great terror troops.
Mm. And
But
also
we-
just magnificent things to look at.
We are a peasant army. We are here to be nasty to you. And you're like, well, say hello to Clockwork Dragon.
It takes 3 months to build one. However, you can build 2 simultaneously,
Ooh, we should
So
build
much.
2. Guys, we should build 2 dragons.
saving time.
Well, we don't have a sheep to argue, even though sheep would be endorsing it.
And this is then bringing like the most valuable metals from all of the kingdom, getting the people who can do it, mustering them to actually do it in this time frame. All these things. Yeah.
How much did the dragon cost to build?
162,500 gold.
62. Yep. That seems very well invested money to me.
162,500.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but we don't have really too much more to spend it on, and they would be amazing units to bolster the forces.
Because that would drop us to... that would drop us down... No. Got that.
How much do we have now after the expenses has been paid? 323, yes. That means that next month, after the levy stuff has been finished, we can build 2 of them. We basically would empty most of the treasury, but we would have
2 dragons.
It would be so amazing. Do you realize how many dragons we have under our command? At that point, we have like clockwork dragons. I have hideous soul dragons. I have a simulacrum. We have
Chloe
sheep and
1 and
his.
2.
We have Chloe, who's probably been the most used.
And they
to us,
call
honestly.
me the Dragoneth Farhold, except they don't.
They
And then we
could
have-
if you wanted them to.
We have
I don't,
sheep with
that's
all of his
fine.
weird dragons.
Yeah. So, that month goes on. You wish to, well, I guess nothing yet, really. Yeah, alright, I guess that's just a month of recruitment and such. 1,000 people are marched up, mostly from the Heartland, where Eisenmark certainly makes sure that they are they're whipped into shape.
Good. Eisenmark is really one of the best investments we've ever made, I think.